jamendo.com.
Mr. Robot, an award-winning series and more than a sticky thriller. The show is an intense critique of modern capitalism and its effects on society that end up affecting mental health. Through its complex characters, plot, and visuals, Mr. Robot creates conversation about the intersection of these two critical issues.
You should know that nothing's gonna come from this.
The purpose of Mr. Robot is to portray mental health issues and capitalism. The show explores how the pressures and stresses of modern life can contribute to the sense of alienation, isolation, and disconnection, as well as the ways in which corporate power can perpetuate a system of inequality and exploitation.
Group of people out there that are secretly running the world. I'm talking about the guys no one knows about, the guys that are invisible. The top 1% of the top 1%, the guys that play God without permission. And now I think they're following me.
This can have a powerful effect on the audience. By highlighting these critical issues, the show encourages viewers to think critically about the structures and systems that shape our lives, and to consider alternative ways of living and being in the world. For some viewers, the show may inspire a sense of frustration or anger at the ways in which corporate power and inequality can perpetuate mental health and feelings of disconnection from society. For others, it may encourage reflection on their own experience with mental health issues and the impact of social and economic factors on their well-being.
Hello, friend. Hello, friend. That's lame. Maybe I should give you a name. But that's a slippery slope. You're only in my head. We have to remember that. Shit. This actually happened. I'm talking to an imaginary person.
The protagonist is Elliot, a professional hacker with a deep distrust in all people. Even invaded the personal information of his close social circle, such as his best friends and his psychologist. On several occasions, he internally expressed his hatred of society. He suffers from a dissociative identity disorder. That is, he has multiple personalities. One of them is Mr. Robot, who at first appeared as leader of F Society, but is actually Elliot's father. He's like a voice of what he should do, but he doesn't do it out of fear. It is his darkest part. We can interpret Elliot's word thanks to the dialogues with the audience, or as he refers to, an imaginary friend. Throughout the series, we see how Elliot becomes involved in a massive hacking plan led by Mr. Robot. The duality of him as a vigilant hacker and a tormented person make him an intriguing and realistic character. We see Elliot confront his inner demons as he battles a corrupt financial system. Mr. Robot is a critique of his consumerist, superficial, capitalist, and individualist society, which is exposed through E-Corp, the biggest company in the world and responsible for many of the financial problems, or as Elliot called, Evil Corp. The series takes this fictitious company to show that large corporations do not represent solution or prosperity as at the beginning of the industrial era, but rather exploitation, but even so they continue to be fundamental pillars for this society. The loss of jobs break with the idea of an ideal family. We can see this in the life of Elliot's father, since his health is affected by the abusive of these companies, as well as Angela's family. The group called F Society, led by Mr. Robot, with the aim of hacking E-Corp to free society from all this garbage, uses a characteristic mask of capitalism as a symbol of mockery. This group serves as a tool to explain that information is a control center. Power goes hand in hand with who determines what is the truth. Throughout the series, we can see how the right information is important to win this game of chess. We see it in the scene where the public image is defeated by an act of suicide by the main director of E-Corp, in front of 1,000,000 viewers, representing the important thing that a camera dictates as the truth. The delusions that the protagonist has are used as analogies. At the end of the season, they achieve freedom from this society built by big business.
Photography demonstrates the different types of tones and mood. There are lots of camera moments to convey a scene of tension in the viewer. One notable technique of cinematography are the frames and closed scenarios especially made to create claustrophobia for the characters. During this series, there is a variety of music that helps people understand more what is happening and how the character is feeling. They use electronic music to create a suspense and a very tense atmosphere. Also, there are parts in which the music reflects Elliot's mental health and disorder inside his head. The music is very important because it represents the personality of each character, especially of Elliot's. Silence in Mr. Robot is extremely important because it's used to create a scene of tension and anxiety, and most of the time keeps the user hooked. Also, it creates discomfort and stress on the viewer, and for reflecting the loneliness and uncertainty of the character. Something important about silence is that most of the times it's used for separating one scene from another. Sound in Mr. Robot is an important element that creates a good atmosphere depending on the mood and the scene. For example, the use of sound effects like electricity, electronic devices, and other sounds that are creating tension in the viewer, helping understand better what is happening. Sound is used to generate emotional effects on the viewer and a psychological part of different characters. The series uses irony usually to create a scene of contrast between what is happening and what is accepted, also making the absurdity or hypocrisy in most of the characters during the series. This series employs also metaphor of layers as well of meaning, and for that the complexity of the series seems better for the viewer.
In conclusion, Mr. Robot dives into the problematic aspects of capitalism and mental health in our technological modern world. A world filled with dangers and hazards that can come from anywhere at any time, even on our own computers and cellular devices. The protagonist named Elliot serves as a surrogate for the audience to enter this dark and depressing reality, as we also witness the beginning of an electronic revolution. Thanks to some downright beautiful cinematography and excellent dialogue, we become part of Elliot's journey, since he talks and addresses to the audience by treating them as some sort of imaginary character created by himself, making us feel more involved and closer to the story and the characters around him.
Hello, friend. Hello, friend. That's lame. Maybe I should give you a name. But that's a slippery slope. You're only in my head. We have to remember that. Shit. This actually happened. I'm talking to an imaginary person.
Elliot is a scared and very flawed hero that desires for a revolution to start, a push that will force the world to change and transform into something better, but is afraid to start it since the odds and history will overwhelm and defeat him so easily. Everything changes with the arrival of S Society, a group of rebellious hackers led by a man named Mr. Robot. A man that challenges and pushes Elliot to his absolute and ultimate potential. Driven by his hatred for modern society and his inner desires for change, Elliot enters and follows the group as they set sight for the beginning of a new technological revolution. Throughout the first season, the series exposes to the audience its critiques for certain aspects of the modern world, such as the depth of capitalism and the handling of mental health through the usage of drugs. The portrayal and exploration of solitude and loneliness, repression of traumatic events and or memories, alienating relationship with close ones due to self-destructive behaviors such as drug usage, and manifestation of imaginary personas. Elliot goes from a scared and shy zombie of society to the man that broke the world and started a new revolution.